Welcome to Forward High School Weekly. I'm your host, Deion. On this week's episode, we're talking to Jenks quarterback Stephen Kittleman. We'll also recap last week's Putnam City Broken Arrow matchup. And we'll have my takeaways here shortly as well. Right now, though, let's check in with Stephen Kittleman. Today, we have another special guest for you, all right? The starting quarterback for the Jenks Trojans, Stephen Kittleman, is here with us today. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
So, my man, it's playoff time in Oklahoma, and as tradition is with Jenks, I mean, y'all are back in it in the thick of things. How's the team looking, and how are you feeling?
Yeah, we got the bleached hair again, so we're really excited over here. Things are going good. We had a good win last week against Moore. We got a tough opponent this week in Norman North. They're super athletic. Got some big guys on defense, but I think we got a good game plan for them.
So, I mean, you already mentioned it, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Everybody knows in these parts when it's Oklahoma playoff time, the Jenks Trojans, they dye the hair and bleach the hair blonde. And now, tell me, if you don't know, you don't have to answer, and we can just move on and we can do our own research. But how did this whole bleach hair come about?
Yeah, I don't know really the details of it all, but I know the tradition started back in, I want to say the 90s. A group of guys wanted to do it for the playoffs, and it carried on each year.
So how does it go? Do you have to be on varsity, or does the whole student body do it, or is it just the football players? If JV gets involved, what's the deal?
Yeah, it's our whole team. Everyone buys into it. JV, varsity, whatever level you are. We have a few students that also bleach their hair, so some of them get in the action too. So it's fun.
So how does this even come about? Like, who's doing the bleaching? Like, is it moms? Is it other students that are girls? Do y'all all go to the salon together? Like, what's the deal here?
It depends. There's definitely some salon gatherings, I guess you could say. This year, I guess it was a little different because COVID. We couldn't all be in the same room. But we'll go to different salons. A lot of moms do it, and then there's also some cheerleaders that like to do it too.
I bet. So speaking of the whole COVID and how that's come about, I mean, talk to us. How has that situation been for you personally in your time in 2020 playing football during a pandemic?
Yeah. Gosh, when thinking about it, it's your senior year. You're coming into it and you want it to be everything you've ever hoped for. And then this kind of rolls around and just kills every one of your plans, I guess you could say. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. This group of seniors, we've been through a lot over the past few years, and we're used to dealing with adversity. This program is used to dealing with adversity. So it's just kind of another punch we had to roll with. And it's going to help us down the road in our lives besides football. So we're just fine with it.
You as an individual, what's been the toughest thing? And this could be, in football, this could be outside of football. What's been the toughest thing to battle through during this pandemic?
Yeah, I think the toughest thing is just everything's out of norm. Every single day, something else happens. One day we could have our whole team. The next day, I could have 30 of my brothers sitting at home for 14 days. And so I think being able to adapt every single day is probably the hardest part, and kind of missing out on some opportunities like position dinners on Tuesday nights, not always being able to have a team dinner together. Things like that are kind of hard.
So as far as you as a leader, what are some of the things that you've done to try to step up during these unusual circumstances?
Mm-hmm. Definitely just keep having the same attitude every single day I come here, making sure the guys around me know that everything's going to be all right, and we're going to make the best of this situation. I remember back in March and May, when we didn't even know we were going to have a season, I was just trying to be the best encourager for our guys and being very optimistic in how I go about my words that I use with them, being very positive.
I feel you. So is that the type of leader that you consider yourself to be, kind of a vocal leader or more of a lead by example type of a dude?
Honestly, I would say both. I love to be vocal, but I'll lead by example just as much. I think my character is a big attribute of mine. I come with the same attitude every single day. I always have a smile on my face. Always want to get better and want to push the guys around me.
So where does that come from? The whole, stay positive, keep a smile on your face. Is that something that you've learned throughout your years, or something that it was taught to you by your parents or, a coach or somebody?
It was definitely taught to me at an early age. My mom and dad told me that you can win a lot of people over with your character and your integrity, for that matter. Be kind to everyone, push others to be better. And then when I learned that as the years went on and I went through adversity, I already knew how to handle that. And so I can, thank my parents a lot for that.
Speaking of your parents, this is the portion of the show where we get to, acknowledge the parents and the siblings and stuff. So any shout outs you want to get out the way? Who's the parents? Give mom and dad some love.
Yes. My mom, Kay Kittleman, and my dad, Whit Kittleman. And I think my biggest fan is my sister. She, after every single game, she points out all my mistakes. So I can say she's my biggest critic too. But that's Gracie.
So younger or older?
Older.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So
hard on me.
So what has that relationship been like through growing up, having an older sister that's, in your words, kind of hard on you?
She, we're best friends. We're so close. And that's why I think she can be so hard on me. For example, I'll get home from a game. My mom will be like, "Great game, Stephen," and all that. And she'll be like, "Oh, what about those three incompletions, Stephen, and the interception?" And she'll remind me of all she keeps me humble. That's a good way to put it.
Stephen Kittleman is a steady hand at the wheel of the Jenks offense. That's earned him a uniform number that's become a Trojan tradition. Tonight, on the Ford Game of the Week, the playoffs continue as Tulsa Booker T. Washington Hornets head to Midwest City to take on the Midwest City Bombers. Join Steve Marshall and me for all the action tonight at 7 on YurView Channel 3. Ford High School Weekly will continue right after this. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. We're talking to Jenks quarterback, Stephen Kittleman. Talk us back to the beginning. Let's get to know, Stephen Kittleman, the player before all the glory at Jenks High School. How did you start playing the game?
Yeah, growing up, I always had a ball in my hand, whether I was football, basketball, baseball, golf club, you name it. I love sports, and my parents, they never pushed me to love that. They never told me which sports I had to play, which sports I couldn't. They encouraged me through them all. They made me work hard, and they said, if you're going to do it with everything you have. And they've been my biggest supporters. They've been my rocks through it all.
So what other sports do you play?
I also play basketball here at Jenks, and then I play golf. I used to play competitively, but I kind of dropped it off. But my dad and I still try to play every weekend.
Hey man, I'm telling you that sport will make you so frustrated, but
yes.
Sometimes it's a blast. Just ask Dustin Johnson.
Exactly, 20 under. Let's go,
man. Whew. That guy can play. But all right, so now that we know, what is it? So have you always grown up in Jenks?
Yes, I've gone to Jenks since I was in pre-K. So I've been here for around 13 years.
So what's that been like? I mean, playing with the same, correct me if I'm wrong, the same group of guys ever since you were somewhat born into this sport?
Yeah, I've been around, I don't even know how many of my teammates. Probably over 10 of them. We played together since we were in first grade with Mighty Mites, and we always grew up coming to the games on Fridays. And we just thought those guys were superstars, and that's what we always dreamed of, playing for Jenks. And now that it's happening, it's a dream come true. And we love playing for Jenks just because of that tradition, and because we get to be role models for the younger kids.
I feel you. So with that being said, I mean, do you feel like it's that much more important to you guys since you guys have, grown up watching this, watching this school and wanting to be a part of it so bad, and now it's your opportunity, to carry on the torch? Yes,
I think we all kind of feel that responsibility that, at Jenks we win championships, and that's what we were taught all throughout grade school. That's what's in our blood. So it's so important for us to bring gold ball back to Jenks this year.
So with that being said, I mean, and you can answer this honestly. I mean, how much pressure is it on you guys, during the season and during playoff times, especially knowing the winning tradition that Jenks has to perform and to win every game and, try and go get that gold ball like you've been taught to do for so long?
I'm going to be honest. There's pressure there. No doubt about it. We haven't won one in 4 years, and that doesn't happen in Jenks, Oklahoma. So there's pressure there, but I don't think our guys feel it. I think we all do our best under pressure. Like I said, that's what we were taught to do. We were taught to win, and we're going to perform our best when it's needed.
So with that being said, I mean, elephant in the room, the topic of Jenks not winning a gold ball in 4 years and you being a senior, trying to leave this great institution the way you found it with championships. How much do you feel you guys are not wanting to do that, but are obligated to do that?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, there's obviously pressure in that situation, but it's what we do. We're not going to shy away from it. We're not going to shy away from anyone. We're going to take every obstacle head on, just play our game, and I think we'll be just fine.
Is there anything individually that you think you need to do to go ahead and get those wins during the playoffs and try to get that championship?
Yeah, individually, I need to be very sound from start to finish in each game. I can't want to like take shots early. I got to take what defense gives me, be very mature in all my progressions, just be patient and trust in my guys.
With that being said, it kind of brought me to my next question. I've always wanted to know, I've been watching you play for a little bit. What kind of quarterback do you think you are? You more of the gunslinger, the game manager, or, what kind of quarterback do you think you are specifically?
If you look at my stats, a lot of people would probably say I'm more of a pocket passer. But in my opinion, I love to sit in the pocket and throw the ball. That's what I do. But at the same time, I love to run the football just as much. And so if you bring pressure, I'm going to be able to escape it. And, I'm going to be able to run a little bit too. And I like to be competitive and throw it and run it.
So now here's the true answer to that question. Now, as far as the quarterbacks that you've grown up watching, give me two quarterbacks, okay? One that you grew up watching, admiring, and loved his game, and a quarterback that you love to watch right now. It can be at the college level or at the NFL. But you got to shoot. Just give me two.
Growing up, my parents are going to not like me for this one. Johnny Manziel was my favorite QB to watch. When he was at Texas A&M, I watched every one of his games. I thought he was just, the most exciting guy. His character wasn't the best, but he made plays over and over and over, and he was just a competitor. Now, I love to watch Drew Brees. I can kind of appreciate the game a little bit more now that I'm more knowledgeable about it. And watching Drew, he's kind of a shorter guy, 5'11", 6 foot like me, and he can stand in the pocket, make every throw. And I really like his game on the field, and his character is great off the field.
Man, you're starting to make me feel old, man. I was playing when Johnny Manziel was out there running around for Texas A&M. I can remember that. God, man, now you're saying the kid, can you believe this? Now kids are saying they used to look up to – yeah, man, like help your boy out. But no, the Drew Brees reference, and that's something that I see a lot in your game. And you know what? It kind of got me to thinking. I mean, a question I've always wanted to ask one of you guys that puts on the number 9, just like Drew Brees over there for the Jenks Trojans. What's up with that tradition? Is that something that you guys you've always known, or is that something that the coach gives you, or is something that you pick?
So that is a player-led. That's a player-led deal right there. It started with Mark Ginther. He was a stud, and then passed it down to guys like Sawyer Cole Morgan, who actually he used to come to my house when I was a kid. His sister took care of me, so that's a cool relationship there. And then Cooper Nunley wore it, Ian Corwin, and now I guess I wear it too. We think it's a cool tradition. And there's a lot of history behind that number.
So is it your favorite number, and is it the number you grew up wearing, or is it something that was given to you when you got into high school?
So growing up, I wore number 3 actually, and I did that because of Brandon Whedon. I'm a big OSU fan. I probably should have said him earlier for you, but
that would have still made me feel old.
But I wore number 3 because of Brandon Whedon. Wore that all through grade school, and then when I got into high school, my freshman year I wore number 10, sophomore year number 5, and then I finally got to wear number 9. So it's grown on me a lot. I think now it's my favorite number, definitely.
Hey man, 3 times 3 is 9. So I mean, it's just 3 times better. So was there some kind of ceremony? Is it passed on to you, or what's the situation? Because it's the strangest thing for me, but it's something that I think is really cool. The fact that the starting quarterback for Jenks always wears number 9. I mean, what is it? How is it given to you, or do you just raise your hand and say, "I'm going to wear that number and it's mine, coach"?
I agree with you. I think it's super cool too. But there's no ceremony or anything like that. It's kind of a little unspoken agreement with everyone else on the team that, if you're going to start at quarterback, you're going to wear the prestigious number 9, whatever you want to call it. But no ceremony, nothing special like that. It's just a number.
Stephen Kittleman and the Trojans are coming on strong at just the right time. It'll be fun to follow them throughout the playoffs. Tonight's Forward Game of the Week features the Booker T. Washington Hornets taking on the Midwest City Bombers in the second round of the OSSAA State Championship playoffs. Join Steve Marshall and me right here on YurView Channel 3 at 7 o'clock for Booker T. Washington and Midwest City. We have more Ford High School Weekly coming up. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. Last Friday, Mike Ziegenhorn and Rod Thompson provided the call to our first playoff game as the Putnam City Pirates faced the Broken Arrow Tigers.
Broken Arrow tonight, Rod, and a big-time win for BA.
Yeah, outstanding win for the Tigers. I mean, I thought we saw a balanced attack. They were really well defensively and containing this Putnam City team that came in with a lot of firepower offensively. And then on the offensive side of the ball, a balanced attack when you have Rains and you talk about Banks and also Horn getting it done, among others. Very impressive win for Broken Arrow as they move on to the second round.
Broken Arrow did it in all 3 phases of the game, forcing 5 turnovers. They returned a kickoff for a touchdown, and on offense, they were led by Sanchez Banks, who had 3 touchdown rushes on the night for Broken Arrow.
Yeah, and very impressive, and that's what you want to be doing, clicking on all cylinders, and started early. Mr. Banks, there he is, getting it done, getting great blocking up front. Look at the stiff arm right there, and this is the guy that definitely is a threat. Getting it done again, able to march in. That offensive line, we talked about Trenches getting a great push, and he says, "I'm not done yet." Cut. How about one more time? The cut again. There he is, Mr. Sanchez Banks getting it done for this team. And boy, you love the blocking that they had up front for him. And he was really strong for this Tiger team.
Banks also recovered a fumble on a kickoff and had a sack on the night. Your final stats pretty much dominated by Broken Arrow.
Yeah, really getting it done. Look at the rushing yards, 278 to 122. They win the passing war. But most importantly, what sticks out, Zig, the turnovers. 5 for Putnam City. And off those 5 turnovers, 21 points for Broken Arrow. So they really get it done in all facets of the game to come away with that win, 44 to 12.
With that win right there, Broken Arrow advances to the quarterfinals, where they'll be facing a Union bunch that's ready to get things started. That should be a really good game. Ford High School Weekly continues with my takeaways from the Putnam City Broken Arrow game. I'm thinking pastries, maybe some turnovers. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. Tonight on the Ford Game of the Week, catch Booker T. Washington Hornets and Midwest City in the second round of the playoffs at Midwest City. Join Steve Marshall and me as the Hornets and the Bombers try to move on to the 6A2 semifinals here on YurView Channel 3 at 7 o'clock. Well, here they are, guys, my takeaways. Takeaway number 1, we've talked about this before. Turnovers change games. 3 Putnam City turnovers in the first half led to 3 Broken Arrow touchdowns that left the Pirates in a 28-0 hole.
Hawkins again, right up the middle, ball out. Looks like Broken Arrow's got it.
BA Seth Dodd recovered the first fumble. That led to a Sanchez Banks touchdown.
Banks looking for his second TD of the night.
Then early in the second quarter, Jalen Johnson recovered another Pirate fumble.
Second and 11, another fumble, and Broken Arrow's got it.
Man.
Still running with the football. Jalen Johnson picks it up.
That turnover led to a 16-yard touchdown pass from Jake Rain to Griffin Stevens.
Rain's going to roll to his left, throw downfield, have a wide open receiver. And right at the goal line, Griffin Stever runs the defender over and gets it in the end zone.
On the ensuing kick, Putnam City mishandled the ball.
Garrett, another pooch kick, that one bobbled. And another fumble, Broken Arrow's got it again, wow.
And Sanchez Banks recovered that fumble, which led to a Keon Barnett touchdown to make it 28-0.
The give to Barnett. He's going to get into the end zone.
Barnett would not be denied on that one.
Which made my point. Turnovers change games. And how's this for number 2? Don't take it to the bank, give it to Mr. Banks. Friday night, Sanchez Banks had 3 touchdown runs.
Banks looking for his second TD of the night. Got it.
Banks. Wow. Take it to the bank.
Banks, can he do it again? Third touchdown tonight.
How about Sanchez Banks? Get down in the red zone, boy. He's a go-to guy.
He ended the night with 11 carries, 76 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and a fumble recovery. That's what I mean. Don't take it to the bank, give it to Mr. Banks. Check YurView.com/OK every day for highlights like these and replays of the Ford Game of the Week. And remember, guys, only the best in Oklahoma come to Ford High School Weekly. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm your host, Deion Amade.